the incident without ever investigating Mr. Phillips' motives, or without ever
Do you notice how he
asking me for
keeps
my
saying
side
just
of
the
the
full
story.
video? The full video doesn't
And do you know
show
why?
jack shit.
Because the truth was not important. Advancing their anti-Christian, anti-conservative, anti-Donald Trump narrative was all that mattered. And if advancing their narrative ruined the reputation and future of a teenager from Covington, Kentucky, well, so be it.
Nobody ruined
That
your
would teach
fucking
him not
future,
to wear a MAGA
motherfucker.
hat.
You went and hired a
I
PR
learned what was
firm.
happening to me had a name.
And that's the reason why you're on
was
the
called being
RNC
canceled.
convention.
As in annulled, as in revoked, as in made void. Canceled is what's happening to people around this country who refuse to be
How are you
silenced by the
canceled
far
when you're
left.
on national goddamn
Many are being
TV?
fired,
You're on every fucking
humiliated,
channel
or
right
even
now.
threatened. And often, the media is a willing participant. But I would not be canceled. I fought back hard to expose the media for what they did to me, and I won a personal victory.
You didn't
While
do
much more
shit.
must be done, I look forward to the day that the media returns to
A media
providing
outlet
balanced,
just decided that
responsible,
it was
and
cheaper
accountable
to
news
settle
coverage.
with you
I know President
than to
Trump
fight
hopes
you.
for that too. And I know you'll
And that
agree
was a
with me
strategic
when we
move on
say
your
that no
part.
one in this country has been a victim of unfair media coverage more than President Donald Trump. In November, I believe this country must unite around a president who calls the media out and refuses to allow them to create a narrative instead of reporting the facts.
Attacks the
I
First
believe
Amendment
we must
is
join
what
a
he's
president
saying.
who will challenge the media to return to objective journalism. And together, I believe we must all embrace our First Amendment rights and not hide in fear of the media,
I think
or
this
from the
kid
tech
should embrace my
companies,
cock.
or from the
I don't know, is he
outraged mob
underage? I
either.
shouldn't say that.
This is worth fighting for. This is worth voting for. And this
I
is
even
what
called him a
Donald
kid and
Trump
everything.
stands for.
Shit.
Thank you all for listening to me tonight.
I'm canceled
And one
now.
more thing. Let's make America great again.
I meant that figuratively. That fucking ass.
I'm Pam Bondi. Our party's theme tonight is America, the Land of Opportunity. And listening to the stories of discoveries and deliverance, you can't help but be proud to call this country home. But for Joe Biden, it's been the land of opportunism, not opportunity. As a career prosecutor and former Attorney General
Oh yeah,
of Florida,
because Trump's
I've
never
fought
been
corruption,
opportunistic.
and I know what it looks like, whether it's done by people wearing pinstripe suits or orange jumpsuits. At the
What?
Democrats' convention, we were told to look at Joe Biden as the model of integrity. But when you look at his 47-year career in politics, the people who benefited are his family members, not the American people.
I don't know about that.
Let's take a closer look. We all know about Joe's son, Hunter Biden. A corrupt Ukrainian oligarch put Hunter on the board of his gas company, even though he had no experience in Ukraine or in the energy sector. None. Yet he was paid millions to do nothing. He only had one qualification that mattered. He was the son of the man in charge of distributing U.S. aid to Ukraine. And recently reported information revealed that a few months after Hunter Biden joined that corrupt company's board, the Obama-Biden State Department began doing business with them, even when it remained under investigation for corruption.
She is.
And it gets worse. That very
she
same
is
company was
lying.
being investigated by a Ukrainian prosecutor.
It is not
Joe
what
Biden,
happened.
the Vice President of the United States, threatened to withhold aid to Ukraine unless that same prosecutor was fired. And then he was fired.
That prosecutor
only
was
resigned from that
corrupt
board
and was
just
refusing
before his dad
to
announced
investigate the
his
company
campaign
that
for
Joe's son
president.
worked for.
Now let's talk about China.
It's actually
Fact.
the opposite.
Joe Biden
and
flew to China on
there's
Air
no
Force Two with
corruption.
Hunter along for the ride. They
Or at
said
least
he was
not-
just
at
there as
least
a
not
family
in that
member,
sense.
but we know that's untrue. In Beijing, Hunter didn't just go sightseeing. He had meetings with his Chinese bank partners. Hunter even arranged for his dad to meet with one of the partners.
You should
10
hear about
days
all the
later,
shit that
those
Junior
Chinese communist
fucking
bankers
Eric Trump and
approved
Ivanka do.
millions to go to Hunter's firm. And those bankers work for the Chinese Communist Party, which oppresses their people, cheated American workers for decades,
kinda thought she was
and covered
Ivanka
up
when
a
she first
deadly
walked out.
virus. To this day, Hunter controls a 10% stake in that firm.
But I've
And
heard
Joe
her name
Biden's
before.
done more
She's
than
done
look
something
the other way on
stupid.
China. He said, "The Chinese aren't our
What has she
competition.
done?
Come on, man. They're not bad folks. Come on, Joe. Talk to the folks
Chinese
in
people
Middle
are
America
not bad folks.
who lost countless jobs to China while your son was getting rich with them." But there's more. Fact. There have been numerous press reports that have shown other close Biden family members benefited from Joe's 47-year political career. Joe Biden was point person on Iraq.
Apparently, she's been investigated
President of a
multiple times.
construction firm met with Biden's team
Of
in the
course
White
she
House, and then
has.
who did they hire to build thousands of houses in Iraq? Joe Biden's close family member, who, you guessed it, had no experience in the
Republicans
industry
love to
and
project
no
every
experience in
single
Iraq.
person. If
A company official
I'll
bragged
keep
that
googling
it helps
them
to have a family
because
member, the
apparently
vice
all of
president,
them
as
have like
partner.
criminal accusations
The
against
family
them,
member
criminal
put it more
charges.
bluntly by saying, "There's a line of 747s filled with cash ready to invest." Now let's follow the money down south. Again, as reported in the press, yet another close family member of Joe's set his sights
This
on
is a
Costa Rica
very
and
weird
Jamaica,
speech.
where millions of dollars flowed from the Obama-Biden administration in taxpayer-backed loans to projects linked to, yes, that same family member.
Now, are they like? Did this woman write her own speech? Because this is not. If I was a political consultant, this is not the kind of speech that I would want. You don't really focus to just like attack your opponent. You kind of want to talk. You want to be positive. You want to be a positive outlook. But goddamn, like they really are like taking the Nazi route. They're like, let's fucking drive home, complete and total lies, just pound it into the dirt.
He won't even take a paycheck from the American people.
He's taking the
he's
taking the people for other ways.
across this country. Democrats have been lecturing America about integrity for 4 years, while their nominee has been writing the textbook on abuse of power for 40 years. If they want to make this election a choice between who's saving America and who's swindling America, bring it on.
You want to talk about
Joe
abuse
says
of
he'll
power?
Build back better. Yeah, build the Bidens back better. Our president is in this to build a safer, better,
Yeah,
and
it's not looking
stronger
that way, my
America.
friend.
And he will finish what he started to keep this a real land of opportunity for everyone. If you want to check your voting status, secure your ballot, or register to vote, text VOTE to 88022. Remember, the best is yet to come.
Remember, we are sitting on top of record unemployment, getting ready to be like record evictions. This is not a good time for them to be pushing a narrative of a good economy. That's going to make a lot of America resent them.
What are you going to do with it? Are you going to make that difference? Are you going to say, I was there for the big battles in our country to save America?
It's what I feel very much called to do ever since I was a very young girl.
Mercedes
In
Schlapp.
2016,
That's a
Donald
cool
Trump
name.
made his historic run for the office of United States President. Knowing the monumental task he would be undertaking, he rested all of his hopes for winning on one woman. Because of that trust, he became the
Kellyanne
45th
Conway?
President of the United States. And Kellyanne Conway became the first woman in U.S. history to manage a winning presidential campaign.
He's going to lick her ass on the way out the door? That's kind of odd.
He speaks to them as if they can handle and tackle all issues.
I don't want a job because of my gender. I want the job because I'm the best person for
God,
that
she's even
position.
yelling in this.
That's it. And he respects that.
Maybe she's
And
just
he
like
appreciates hard work.
volume
You
all the
can't
way
ask for
up
anything
all
better,
the
especially
time.
in a boss.
I mean, who
President
am
Trump
I
continued
to
place strong
criticize her
roles
for
in
that,
significant
right?
Positions throughout his administration and campaign, far more than any other president in U.S. history.
That he has had and does have more women on his top team than any president before, but it actually goes down to his
I don't think that's true because he doesn't have that many. He doesn't have that many people.
Throughout the West Wing.
And when he
A lot of
called me and
positions
said, "I
throughout
want
the
you to
administration
represent
just
my entire
are
country,"
not filled.
I became the first black woman to represent a Republican presidential campaign, winning presidential campaign in United States history.
Throughout his career, Trump has always touted family first as a core value. He shows this especially with his choices of press secretaries, choosing Sarah Sanders, the first mother to become a press secretary,
Ooh,
Stephanie
smoky
Grisham,
eye.
the first single mother to serve as press secretary, and Kayleigh McEnany, who transitioned into the job while also transitioning into the job of mom.
I have 4 children. Kellyanne Conway has 4 children. Ivanka has. I think between all the senior staff women, we might have 75 kids. I'm not sure. We've lost count, but the importance of the work is never lost on any of us. And truly, it is those children that we are fighting for and for their future.
With these capable women placed in positions of powerful
Laura
influence
Trump.
and authority, President Trump has proven that when the stakes are highest, he is proud to entrust many of our nation's most crucial jobs to women.
The number of dedicated, amazing, brilliant, relentless women that are dedicated to the country and to the president and to preserving the American dream is one of the greatest, if not the greatest things I'll ever be a part of.
Only the president would say, let's take that stay-home mom and have her run the party. What a smart guy.
Oh, is this Tiffany? Hey,
I'm
Tiffany.
Trump. Since speaking at the Republican convention,
I feel
4
sorry
years
for her.
ago,
I won't
so much
make
has
fun of her.
changed for the world, for our country, and for my family. Like so many students across the world, I graduated from law school during the pandemic. Our generation is unified.
How old
in
is
just
she?
facing the future in uncertain times, and many of us are considering what kind of country we want to live in. As a recent graduate, I can relate to so many of you who might be looking for a job. My father built a thriving economy once.
Oh, I thought
and
she was
believe
older
me,
than that.
he
She's
will do
26
it
years
again.
old. Almost 27.
This election, I urge each and every one of you to transcend political boundaries. This is a fight for freedom versus oppression.
I thought she was
for
closer to my
opportunity
age.
versus stagnation. A fight
How old's
to keep
Ivanka?
America true to America. I urge you to make judgment based on results and not rhetoric. If you believe in criminal justice reform, there is only one president that passed the First Step Act, giving people a second chance, a chance at a life once again. And if you believe in expanding
So
quality
Ivanka is more
and
my age.
affordable
Shit.
health care, only President
I thought
Trump,
she was older.
my father, signed the right to try into law, the Favored Nations Clause, and other actions to lower drug prices and keep Americans from getting ripped off.
You know what would lower
People
drug
must
prices and keep
recognize
Americans from getting
that our
ripped off?
thoughts, our
Medicare
opinions,
for all.
and even the choice of who we are voting for may and are being manipulated and visibly coerced by the media and tech giants. If you tune into the media, you get one biased opinion or another.
Is she a
And
robot?
what you
Did she just
share,
malfunction?
If it does not fit into the narrative that they seek to promote, then it is either ignored or deemed a lie, regardless of the truth. This manipulation of what information we receive impedes our freedoms. Rather than allowing Americans the right to form our own beliefs, this misinformation system keeps
I mean,
people
I agree with
mentally
that, but
enslaved
not in the way
to
she's saying.
ideas they deem correct. This has fostered unnecessary fear and divisiveness amongst us. Why are so many in media and technology, and even in our own government, so invested in promoting a biased and fabricated view? Ask
I don't know.
yourselves,
Ask Fox News.
why are we prevented from seeing
Ask
certain
OAN.
information? Why is one viewpoint promoted while others are hidden? The answer is control.
Why do I have to be
Because division
streaming
and
on
controversy
platforms people
breed
have never
profit.
heard of while you're on
What are the
goddamn
consequences
national
when only
TV,
one side
on
of the story
Fox,
gets out? Or
NBC,
when only one
CBS,
viewpoint is
ABC, C-SPAN,
Poor higher education
MSNBC,
system. It means
Fox News,
sacrificing
Fox
civil
Business.
debate by creating an atmosphere where students
How many
with
goddamn
contrary
channels is
opinions
this thing
are
on?
too afraid to speak. Many students find themselves suppressing their beliefs to fit into what the acceptable groupthink is. In short, our nation
The people
suffers
with
by
the fucking
inhibiting our
red hats are
diversity
going to
of
talk
thought
about
and
groupthink.
inclusion of ideas. Working together outside of our political comfort zones will accomplish so much more. Some cynical politicians do not seem to believe in the miracle of America. Well, I do. As Maximo Alvarez said
What
so
does that
eloquently
mean?
last night,
What politicians
if
are
freedom is
cynical?
lost in this country, there is nowhere else to go. Having hope is not weakness, and believing in miracles is a gift from God. So tonight, I want to tell you the uncensored truth of what we believe in.
Lay it on me.
We
Lay it on me.
believe
Come
in
on.
equality of opportunity. We believe in freedom of thought. and
What does that
expression.
mean?
Think what you want. Seek out the truth. Learn from those with different opinions. And then freely make your voice heard to the world. We believe in school choice because a child's zip code in America should not determine their future.
I believe in
in
funding
freedom of
all
religion,
schools
all
properly instead of tying
faiths,
it to property
and
tax.
We believe
So
in
that
the
you don't have to
American
funnel
spirit.
money out of
A
the
country
public
founded
system
on ideas, not
into private
identity.
hands.
A country where our differences are embraced, and the only country where the word dream has been attached to it. Because in America, your life is yours to chart. So if you're hearing these things and thinking to yourself, that is the kind of country that I want to live in, well, whether you realize it or not, you are a Trump supporter. I encourage you to see beyond the facade that so many other politicians employ. They mask themselves in disguises of decency as they try to pressure us to mask our own identities and beliefs. My father is the only person to challenge the establishment, the entrenched bureaucracy, big pharma, and media monopolies to ensure that Americans' constitutional freedoms are upheld and that justice and truth prevail. My father does not run away from challenges, even in the face of outright hatred, because fighting for America is something he will sacrifice anything for. He dreams big dreams for our country, and he is relentless at achieving them. You see, Make America Great Again is not a slogan for my father. It is what drives him to keep his promise of doing what is right.
Now, see, this is the
for American
speech that you have
citizens.
at a political convention.
The energy of change and opportunity is
Old
with
Pam
us.
Bondi and her
God
like,
has
bot,
blessed
bot,
us with
bot,
unstoppable
bot, bot.
spirit.
That was a
His
weird
spirit,
ass
the American
speech.
spirit. My dad has proven to be driven by that spirit. He has demonstrated his faith and his uncompromising heart and actions. My father has made me believe that America can truly
Tiffany
be
is really
great
good
again.
and smart and well
If you
spoken,
care
and
about living your life
that's why
without
Trump doesn't
restraints,
talk to him.
about rebelling against those who would suppress your voice and building your American dream.
Poor
The
girl.
choice in this election is clear.
I don't really
for
have
my
sympathy
father,
for her.
Donald J. Trump is a vote to uphold our American ideals. Be true to yourself and stay true to the dream of America. Thank you.
It would be
God
cool
bless you
if
all.
she was more like Kellyanne Conway's kid, though.
I'm Kim Reynolds, Governor of the great state of Iowa. I love this state, and I'm so proud to serve its people. Iowa truly is a land of opportunity. It's the birthplace of the computer. It's a landmark
Is
of
that
the
true? I
financial
didn't know
services
that.
industry. And as so many of you already know, it's filled with farmland that feeds and fuels the world.
Yeah, that's what I knew.
It's also home to people who care for one another, who work hard, who love this country, and are truly grateful for the freedoms it provides. As I like to say, Iowa is one big small town. Neighbor helping neighbor is in our DNA. From the sick farmer who can't harvest his crops, to the single mom who loses her job and is struggling to get back on her feet. The town, the community, helps them get through it. But what happens when a storm rips through almost the entire state? When it's not one farmer who lost his crop, but hundreds? When it's not one neighbor who is without food, but thousands? That happened just 2 weeks ago. A storm called a derecho with hurricane-force winds of up to 140 miles per hour wiped out millions of acres of crops, left thousands
I didn't hear
without
about
power.
this. When did this
It
happen?
destroyed homes, wrecked lives, and left devastation in its wake. It was the worst storm in our state's history. And Iowans did what you expect Iowans to do. They helped each other, they took care of each other, and they still are. But someone else had our back, our president. When the winds had finished raging and the cleanup had only begun, he showed up. Now, you might not know that because the national media didn't report it, but the Trump administration was here in full force. The day after the storm, the president called to assure me that we had the full backing of the federal government. And later that week, Vice President Pence came to Iowa to again assure us that the president and his administration were behind us. With the help of the Trump administration, we quickly received a major disaster declaration that will help Iowans get back on their feet. The president, he cut through the bureaucracy to do what needed to be done and to do it quickly. But that's not the first time President Trump showed Iowans that we can rely on him. In 2019, when 100-year floods breached nearly every levee and devastated communities large and small along the Missouri River in Iowa, Nebraska, and Missouri, the president approved our request for aid in record time. In just
She's
2
boring
days.
me. I've not
this
paid
year,
attention
he
to
did it in
anything
less
she's been
than
saying for the
24 hours.
last
So
3 or
whether
4
it's
minutes at least.
providing needed relief to farmers who were the target of China's unfair trade practices, hammering out new free and fair trade deals, or fighting for workers and small businesses
I gotta
who were hit
get a
hard
beverage or
by
something. I can't.
COVID-19.
I'm gonna fall asleep
We
if I
have a
keep watching
president
her.
and a vice president who get things done. And because of President Trump and his leadership, our country is able to bounce back from setbacks and see opportunity grow and thrive. This is an administration of action and outcomes. They are delivering every day on their promise to make America great again. And that's exactly why we need to re-elect President Donald J. Trump in November. Thank you, and may God bless the United States of America.
America, the land of opportunity, a country where your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. Abraham Lincoln's words from 165 years ago still resonate today because of who we are and because of what we are. A country where a boy born into poverty,
Thank
in
God
a
that's
log cabin,
over.
raised right here on the frontier of Indiana, could educate himself, become a lawyer, become a president of the United States who would preserve the Union, abolish slavery, and save the nation. As a fellow Hoosier, visiting Lincoln's boyhood home has always been a treasured experience for me and my family. It's a place that made Lincoln. It shaped Lincoln and defined the man that Lincoln would become. America is the land of opportunity. As President Donald Trump declared at Mount Rushmore, in America you can do anything. You can be anything. And together, we can achieve anything. Every day, President Donald Trump is fighting to protect the promise of American liberty. Every day, our president's been fighting to expand the reach of the American dream. And on every single day, without fail, President Donald Trump has been fighting for you. So tonight, I'd like to introduce you to a few remarkable Americans who represent that solemn pledge, who embody our president's...
Okay, so boring lady from Iowa. It makes sense that they brought her on because Trump is only up by a point. That is a very, very important state. That's one of those, like, if Trump does not win Iowa, it is fucking bleak for his chances. that's one of the reasons why, like, they're gonna bring her on, but like that was not effective in any way.
To go to that school. With Jack, he would have slipped through the cracks in public schools, and having the option to go to a school that fits him has been a real game changer for us. And I know that because of that opportunity that he's going to succeed, and he's going to achieve that goal of being an apparatus engineer, if that's what he chooses to stick with.
Laura McLean is the mother of another inspiring boy, Jordan. Jordan has Duchenne muscular dystrophy, a fatal muscle weakening disorder. Jordan was at my side in Indiana when, as governor, I signed a law allowing terminally ill patients to access experimental drugs not yet approved by the FDA. In 2018, President Trump
I don't know why they always think that's an accomplishment.
Right to try bill
it's an appeal to those
Thanks to the
anti-vaxxer
president's leadership,
crowds.
critically ill patients have the right to access life-saving experimental treatments.
We started fighting for Right to Try, which basically says if you have a terminal illness and there's a drug that exists and you don't qualify for the clinical trial, there's no other way to receive it. This is a unique pathway that allows you to have access.
That's what I was wondering, like, why can't they sign up for the clinical trials? That's odd.
You would do whatever it took to help Jordan, and we're so grateful.
There has to
that
be
you
a
joined us
reason
on this
why.
journey, and stuck it out until it became law. So that
I would defer to the medical professionals
so Jordan,
on that.
If President Trump was standing right there, what would you say to him today about Right to Try?
Thank you for being a hero to everybody.
That seems like a very covert way
Judge Cheryl Allen made history
of getting some alternative medicine
when she became
bullshit
the first African-American woman
protection
to be elected to serve on the Pennsylvania Superior Court. It's because of leaders like Judge Allen that our nation has overcome our greatest challenges. In this time of racial division in the country, do you see faith and values and the strong stand that President Trump has taken for equality of opportunity as a pathway toward bringing the country together?
As a senior citizen, I'll leave it at that. I know what racism feels like, but I also know that but for my being in this country, I would have never been able to achieve the things that I have been able to achieve. There are injustices, but the way to deal with those injustices is for people to sit down across the table and talk and come up with solutions. I do believe that President Trump is committed to that. In 2016, I have to confess that I really did not know candidate Trump at the time, but I have to say that he really won me over.
Gino's a truck driver from Ohio.
I don't know how you're like rational enough to not vote for him in 2016 and he wins you over.
Broken again and again. And in 2019, when General Motors closed its plant in Lordstown, Ohio, President Donald Trump refused to stand by and watch it happen. And as Gino observed, this president reached out to General Motors to find a way to bring jobs back to Lordstown. And plans were soon set into motion to create Lordstown Motors.
President Trump says, this is how we fix it. And I thought, well, that's a simple solution. There's no other president who could have done it. There's no one that has even tried to do it. President Trump's a doer. He appreciates every one of us.
He's a doer.
I know he does. I've seen it. When he said, make America great again, that was his task. That wasn't his slogan. That was his task. And every hat you see that says MAGA on it, that's what your president's doing for you. Thank you, Mr. President, for keeping the promises that you made.
And then there's Pastor Aaron Johnson. Today, he's the executive director of the Tulsa Dream Center, a nonprofit that provides education and medical services and food to those in need. AJ, you've got a great personal story. When you see the way this president, this administration have been leaning in to create opportunities, investments in communities around the country to create jobs, expanding educational choice, what does that mean to the families that you serve every day?
It means so much to our families. I did grow up in a single-parent home, and so we serve over 600 boys and girls right now on a daily basis, even in COVID. And so for us to give these moms to have an opportunity to take more money on their check, on their paycheck home back to them, to have their children be able to go to a school that they may not have the opportunity to.
I like
otherwise.
this guy.
It means so much to us. There's been
Sad
so
he's
much
talking to
greater
Mike Pence.
opportunity for individuals to come together in any walk of life. People have really been able to see such a positive change and been filled with hope, especially throughout this time.
Lydia left hearth and home, friends and family in Honduras to pursue a better life here in America. While raising their 4 daughters, Lydia and her husband run a small business that creates security systems. But just months after their business was up and running, our nation was struck by a global pandemic. That's when President Donald Trump
We were
stepped
struck
in
by a global
and enacted
pandemic.
the largest financial relief package in American history. Her small business stayed in business, and her American dream kept running strong. What did the Paycheck Protection Program mean to your company as the coronavirus struck?
Yeah, it was a huge, tremendous help and a big blessing. And so we applied, we were accepted really quickly. We're so grateful. You can't believe how much relief we had. We want to continue serving our clients. We want to continue growing our economy, right? We want to all continue to move forward.
So we were able to make it. Because of the support of family and friends, the government. I tell my children, you know, they are born here in the U.S. And I tell them, you are so blessed to live in America.
Here at Abraham Lincoln's boyhood home, a young man would grow up to become the first Republican president of the United States.
This is
And
freaky.
today,
I do not
another
like seeing
Republican
this in
president is
4K.
fighting to preserve
Like,
that
like
same
I hope you guys are
noble
watching
legacy
it
of
on a
freedom.
stream and it's diminished
President Donald
down
Trump
because
will
like
make
I've got
certain
it
that
in
the torch of
4K
American
right up in my
opportunity
face and
illuminates
it's
every
horrible.
city, every town,
It's
and every
fucking
community in this
scary.
blessed land.
He's like popping out of this
I'm
fucking
Ryan
screen
Holtz.
at me.
I'm a police officer from New Mexico. In 2017, I had an encounter that changed my life forever.
Shoot.
I had just
Get it
started
off
my
my
shift
screen.
and responded to a call for service at a gas station. When I arrived, I saw a man and a woman sitting on a grassy slope. I recognized the telltale signs, a needle, a spoon. I knew immediately that they were preparing to inject themselves with heroin.
Preparing? You
Sadly,
didn't
this
find
is
him
a
passed
common
out?
sight for me. I encounter
Hey,
the ravages
that's a
of addiction
microphone.
every day. But
You want to talk
nothing
into it?
could
Can
prepare
you?
me for what I discovered as I approached them. The woman
You want
was
some
very
cat ass?
pregnant. In my shock, I asked her if she knew that she was harming her baby by doing drugs. She crumbled and burst into tears. 2 worlds collided as I knelt down beside her. A police officer and a homeless drug addict, brought together by forces outside of our control. As we talked, our humanity, distinct from our stations in life, was made abundantly clear. Her name was Crystal, and in the midst
Her
of
name
her
was
suffering,
Crystal
she
Meth.
confided that she loved her unborn baby.
I sat down and
She wanted the
started
best
banging
for
with her.
child.
Oh shit! I should have done
In that
cat
moment,
on my lap.
I saw
That
her
hurt.
the way that all of you who know and love an addict see them. As fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, children, cousins, and friends. As human beings, full of value and dignity, but robbed of their potential by this disease. When Crystal said that she was looking for a family to adopt her baby, God showed me exactly what I had to do. Without hesitation, I told her that my family would welcome her baby through adoption. Today, our beautiful daughter Hope is a thriving 2-year-old. Crystal is fast approaching 3 years of recovery. She is a dear friend and a constant inspiration to me and others. I hold a special place in my heart for those facing opioid addiction, and that's why I'm enormously grateful to the President for his leadership in fighting this deadly enemy. Through his efforts, we're turning the tide on the crisis of addiction. President Trump declared the opioid crisis to be a public health emergency, and then
But if you do call
secured
in,
$6 billion in new federal funding to help Americans fight
917-830-4359.
opioid abuse.
I'll come on back
He
over to the
invested an
computer.
additional
We'll
$100
talk.
million to stop the opioid crisis in rural America. And in a move that strikes at the root of the problem, he implemented a safer prescribing plan aimed at reducing opioid prescriptions by over 1/3 within 3 years. This is an effort that stops addiction before it ever gains a hold in someone's life. And it's having an impact. Drug overdose deaths decreased in 2018 for the first time in 30 years. Many of the states hardest hit by the opioid crisis are seeing the largest drop in deaths. We're seeing that doctors are writing fewer prescriptions for opioid pain drugs. These are significant improvements that have a meaningful impact. I think we are fortunate, America, to have a president who cares deeply for the downtrodden and who works tirelessly to find solutions. A president who doesn't just
I don't think he works tirelessly at anything.
But stops and helps.
He tweets a lot.
President
watches
Trump
a lot of
is
cable
the leader
news.
we've needed the last 4 years, and he is the leader we need for the next 4. You see, Donald Trump is the right president at the right time. Let's make sure he's reelected on November 3rd.
Donald Trump's never been the right
I
anything
pray
at
God's
the
blessings
right
on you and your
anytime.
family, and may God bless America.
They all really punch that God bless America.
Good evening. My name is Jeanette Nunez, and I'm proud to serve as Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Florida. Tonight, I'm honored to share my story of faith, family, and American freedom. As the daughter of Cuban immigrants, my story began
Oh, that's
in
the thing last
1959,
night where
before I
Kimberly
was born,
Guilfoyle,
when my parents' dreams
she claimed to
of
be
a
an
prosperous
immigrant
life
family, but
became
like
a
her
nightmare.
family's from Puerto Rico.
Chaos spread
Puerto
quickly
Rico is part
when
of
Fidel
America.
Castro
Even
took
she
control of
didn't
Cuba.
know. That's how
the
dumb
government
that
confiscated
she
private
is.
property, stealing people's homes,
Right-wingers
farms,
are
and businesses.
morons.
For my parents, the difficult decision to flee communist Cuba came when the Castro regime abolished religious freedom. Fellow Americans, the fabric of our nation is in peril. Daily, the radical left systematically chisels away
Where
at the
is
freedoms
this
we
radical
cherish.
left at?
They peddle dangerous ideologies, cower to global progressives, and normalize socialism to dismantle our Constitution. Let me assure you,
what does that even
socialism
mean?
doesn't offer opportunity. Socialism deprives. It is a falsehood that feigns promises for its masses and consistently yields only misery. President Ronald Reagan warned, if we lose
President
freedom here,
Ronald Reagan was a
there's no
dickwad.
place to escape to. Truer words have never been spoken. Americans have a choice. We can go down a dark road of chaos and government control, or we can choose the path of freedom and opportunity that was paved by those who sacrificed everything to preserve the American dream for future generations.
That's the road.
I have faith that Americans will choose the right path. In 2016, our country yearned for a leader who would work tirelessly to jumpstart our economy and fight for hardworking Americans. Since day one,
Both
President
the Democrats
Donald Trump
and the Republicans
has put
knew
America first.
The American dream,
His
dusty
pro-growth,
roads,
pro-jobs
puts asses in
agenda
seats.
has ushered in historically low unemployment, record job creation, higher wages, and rising home ownership. The president is fighting to rescue American jobs and industries for places like Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Puerto Rico, jobs that were needlessly shipped overseas. He's defended our religious freedom, stood with democratic allies like Colombia, and shown unwavering resolve while confronting tyrants in countries like Venezuela, Cuba, China, and Nicaragua. Let us join our president
He likes to
in
suck
his vow
dictator dick.
that America will never be a socialist country. Supporting our president requires action. Join me tonight and text VOTE.
Another one of those examples
to
of right-wingers confusing
88022.
authoritarianism
We must continue
with
to
socialism,
support our
which is an
commander-in-chief,
economic system.
who has a bold agenda that
Conflating the two
safeguards the
things.
rights and freedoms protected under our Constitution. Today, more than ever, that means supporting our men and women in law enforcement and our heroes in uniform.
ACAB.
It means fighting to provide the best quality education by empowering parents and preserving school choice. And it means rejecting the socialist takeover of our nation that will destroy the innovation, economic vitality, and freedoms we hold so dear. As a daughter of immigrants, a wife, a mother of 3,
That was pretty
and
racist.
the first Latina lieutenant governor in the history
And
of
I'm
the
pretty
state of
white,
Florida,
so I don't know what you're
it is my
talking
distinct
about.
privilege to share my story, which is really your story, and the story of a nation that has opened its doors, lifted its people, and yielded success in a way only the United States of America can.
Why don't you call in and talk
Together,
about it?
Let's ensure 4 more years
830-4359. It's right
so
down
that
at the
he
bottom
can
of
continue
the
protecting
screen.
our republic. And so one day, our children
You want to have a little
can
chat?
proudly tell the story of what
We
our
certainly can.
generation did to defend the values of faith, family, and
Call in and tell me I'm stupid.
thank you. May God bless each one of you, and may God bless the United States of America.
Dakamakara.
Ladies and gentlemen, the president.
Well, so far I don't think very highly of you. Oh shit, we got the Trumpster coming out. Are you excited to hear Trump speak?
Acting Secretary Wolf, I present to you 5 candidates for
Why?
naturalization
What?
representing 5.
Why does Trump make your dick hard?
On behalf of everyone here today, I'd like to express my gratitude to you, Mr. President, for hosting this naturalization ceremony here at the White House. To our candidates, it is my honor to administer the oath of allegiance and welcome you as our fellow citizens. Candidates for naturalization, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I hereby declare.
Dude, I don't disagree with you there. He is fucking hilarious. I do not dispute that. He amuses me to no end. I miss the good old days because I was a huge fan of his before he was president. I miss the good old days. He would go on Dave. Dave would make fun of him. We'd all laugh because this is an actual Dave bit that he did. I always enjoyed it. Popping in on Saturday Night Live. He'd pop in on movie shit. Loved it. Totally into Trump. I didn't watch any of his TV shows or anything, but enjoyed him popping up on things. But like, you can't give the baby the keys to the car, man. That's stupid. You can like the baby all day long, but you gonna drive us off the fucking cliff?
That I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by law.
He is fucking hilarious, though. I will give you that.
Non-combatant service.
That is 100% not in dispute. No, I mean, nothing. What do you mean by in the country? That's a loaded fucking question. No, I don't think he's going to end the country.
Under civilian direction. When required by law.
Has he already done irreparable harm to the country? Quite possibly. This fucking next couple months is going to be weird. And
Congratulations, you're now citizens of the United States of America.
you mean the Federal Reserve. When you say the Feds, you mean the Federal Reserve, not the federal government, right? The Federal Reserve is a private bank. I don't know what I don't know what they had to gain by crashing the U.S. dollar. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Congratulations, that's fantastic. It's really great. Thank you. And I want to thank Acting Secretary Wolf doing a phenomenal
Do you
job.
think he's sedated here? Do you think they've given him some Xanax or money printer go brrrr? I mean, we can talk about monetary policy if you want to, but like we got to know what we're talking about here, because like money is just basically fiat.
You follow the rules,
He's not on uppers here. That's what I'm saying. He's normally a little more for these spots they're doing. I feel like they've kind of like given him some horse tranquilizer, so he don't go off on his blah, 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 and start yelling at people. He's calm. He's calm right now. Hopefully, I hope and pray he is fucking live on Thursday night when he gives his big acceptance speech.
and it's an honor for me to be your president. Thank you very much.
I do. Please subscribe to my channel. Then you will like when I yell at people. Maybe, I don't know. I yell at a lot of people. I like to call people morons and dumb fucks. I really enjoy it.
And has been a lawful permanent resident.
But it would seem like you wouldn't like my opinions, and I'm kind of hard to argue with.
He and his wife are raising 3 beautiful children.
That's a little personal, man. I do have an accent. You're correct. I'm from the South. We'll leave it at that. How about that? Asking me personal questions.
America has helped me so much in life.
Where are you from? I got a lot of friends out in California.
Thank you for the opportunities to the United States. Thank you. Good luck.
I'm guessing you don't like California, do you? You're gonna bitch about it.
Could happen. It will. Rima Gideon.
I've been to LA. I really enjoyed my time there.
Rima speaks English, Arabic, and French, and earned a degree in.
All right, cool. A lot of right wingers have a habit of bitching about California. I can see that.
Rima says, I feel blessed to be a loyal citizen.
Yeah. Like, you know, what happens when theater kids get what they want, man? That's LA, and like, ooh, you know. I could die if you have any kind of right wing beliefs in you. I can talk you out of them, my friend. Why? Because right wingers are morons, and I can explain why.
The United States 13 years ago. Suda is a talented software developer, and she and her husband are raising 2 beautiful, wonderful children.
When you say you live with a black dude, a gay Jewish dude, and it makes it like you guys having like orgies and shit. Oh, libertarians are the dumbest motherfuckers. No, I'm just playing. Like I like to give libertarians a hard time because they are pretty dumb.
Lawful permanent resident since 2012. She is the married mother of 3 beautiful children. Earned a master's degree and PhD in animal nutrition from the University of Wyoming. Great place, great state.
I wish I'd majored in animal nutrition.
She's also worked as a
because they're dumb. No. Like when I talk about philosophy and policy, libertarians never know what the fuck they're talking about. So it makes it really it's really frustrating to talk with them. See, once again, you say you want a big brother government. That's a loaded question. Well, I don't know what the fuck you mean by that. I will break it down policy by policy, the things that I like, that I think government can do better than the private sector, or that the government should at least be competing with the private sector in order to keep it honest.
To know that I am in the safe country like America.
So I don't know what you mean by big brother government. No, when you say big brother government, I would actually say that I'm quite the opposite of that. I say abolish all the fucking police. I don't like the fucking NSA. Let's do away with them. Let's severely strip down the FBI. Fucking probably do away with the CIA. I'm pretty fucking radical, and let's fucking slash the military by 75%. So no, I'm not a big brother government kind of person. No, I want government to invest in shit that I'm actually going to get to reap the benefits of, like, you know, roads and bridges. High-speed rail is something I would really like our government to provide for us. I wish that everybody had fucking high-speed internet, fucking cable gigabyte access in every home in America. That's something the government should do, free of fucking charge. Shouldn't have to pay for that fucking shit because their lives depend on it. Education is something the government can do. Fucking being the provider of health insurance is something the government can do, as i.e. single payer, Medicare for all. Those are the government programs that I believe in, and I can show you the data to show that that's why we should invest in NASA. Fucking NASA, man. Like, we shouldn't be letting private industry do all that shit. We need to really invest in NASA and really up our investment into space.
Again to all of you, may God bless you and may God bless our great country.
And in case you couldn't tell, fuck cops. And if you're truly a libertarian, you should be with me on that one. Oh shit, we got Eric.
Good evening, America. When I stood on this convention stage 4 years ago, no one fully understood the historic change that was about to take place. We could all feel it. Something was happening. A movement was forming just below the surface. The forgotten man and woman, voiceless in Washington, D.C., were preparing to rise up. Our movement followed the pattern of so many that came before us. First, we were ignored. Then we were laughed at. Then they fought us.
Oh, I bet you were laughed at.
Together, we won. From that moment forward, America came first. America started winning again. America became respected again. But with every movement,
libertarians should absolutely be for defunding the police. I also didn't say defunding the police. I would highly recommend that so-called centrist libertarians go with the defund model, because people like me, like, I want to fucking abolish the police. I do not want them at all.
They want to disrespect our
That's the Big Brother state. That's who's going to trample on your fucking rights, man. Having social workers and fucking teachers aren't going to trample on your goddamn rights.
The Pledge of Allegiance in our schools.
Fuck the police, man. You do not want to give them more funding. That's fucking stupid. Anybody who believes in giving the police more money is a goddamn idiot.
And opinions are censored
hands
when
down.
they do not align with their own.
I will tell you, I've spent 20 years in the media business, and I've worked closely with the cops. They are all fucking crooked. There are no good cops. They lie. They fucking plant evidence on people. They will fucking bust an innocent person in a heartbeat. And instead of investigating and find out what really happened, they will double down on it. And they will make sure that an innocent person gets convicted so they don't look bad. Police are fucking rotten. They need to be fucking abolished. Fucking period.
Millions of MAGA banners and barns
One
painted in red,
of the things that fucked me over the worst was that finding out that when you have a charge that a cop has brought, and it seems frivolous, it was like a waste of time. What they've done is, like, it's always in the last hour of their shift, because they're wanting to get overtime, so they'll bust somebody for something fucking stupid so they can take them to the fucking jail and wait around fucking 2 or 3 hours on overtime. All the goddamn time. They do it all the goddamn time. We pay out fucking all kinds of money in overtime. We pay out so much money in settlements to people that the fucking cops shoot or they beat, they harass. Oh my God, do you know how much money we could save by abolishing the stupid ass fucking police? And let me tell you, the police aren't there to protect you, and fucking anybody that wants to fund the police more has never actually had an interaction with the police, because they are goddamn useless. Absolutely, my friend. You fucking called them to solve a crime, they ain't gonna fucking solve a fucking crime. As I said, they will bust an innocent person before they ever solve a fucking crime. Useless. No, they should be anybody advocating for anything other than abolishment does not know what they're talking about with the police. Fucking useless. And let me tell you, I've been fucking with the police hardcore. So if you hear I ended up suicided, it was the police. Why, it's the herb I don't really, like, if you want to know what the strand is, like, my dude always, he always tells me, but I don't pay fucking attention because I'm just like, all right, whatever you're giving me, I'm going to smoke it. It was really fucking pretty. I remember, like, I looked at it like, oh, wow, this is nice. It smelled really good, too. No, it's not. No, I can't go to a dispensary and just pick something out. I have a underground dealer still. But he grows his own, and it's like, top notch. It is kind of gay. It's those fucking right-wingers, man. That's the problem. I live in a right-wing state. Fuck them. You know, now that this is the first time I've really heard Eric speak. The dude on Saturday Night Live that does the impression of him does a really good job. He really is the stupid. Shit.
To all illegal immigrants. Biden has pledged to
Oh, I do.
defund the police.
Absolutely.
And take away your cherished
Well, we established
Second
it's the
Amendment.
South, so.
My father, on the other hand, delivered the largest tax cuts in American history.
Well, they have to be.
Knows if you do not have a border,
Northern
you do not have a
Republicans are
country,
different than the
and will
Southern
always support
evangelical
law enforcement
Republicans.
And your
It's-
right to keep and bear
Every
arms.
party is different coalitions.
Every day, my father fights for the American people, the forgotten man and woman of this country.
I don't know what you mean by
the ones
libertarian.
Who embody the American spirit, which is unlike
Yeah,
anything else in the
evangelicals
world.
fucking suck.
It built the New York City skyline. It built the Hoover Dam. And
They are
soon,
not fun.
under my father's
They're not fun
leadership,
to be around.
it
They're
will
not fun to
send
have as your neighbors.
Americans to Mars.
They're stupid.
The American spirit can be felt in the majesty of the Grand Canyon. The shadows
You were
of
just
Mount
talking about like
Rushmore, and
giving the cops
stillness
more money, and you're
of
talking
the
about
air at
maximizing
Gettysburg.
freedom. That's
It can
that's
be seen in the wide
the antithesis to
wonder
me.
of every American child as they take their first breath in the greatest country.
We
the world
lock
has ever
up
known.
more people than any
It
other
defeated
country on
fascism,
earth, and that's
it
not per
defeated
capita.
communism,
We lock
and in
up more
68
people than
days,
any
it
other
will
country
defeat
on
the
earth.
empty,
We have like a
oppressive,
third of
and
the
radical
population of
views
China.
Of the extreme left.
A third or a fourth of the population of
Ronald
China.
Reagan's quote ends with this simple warning. One day
And we
will
lock up
spend
more
our
people than
sunset
them.
years
We're
telling our
considered,
children
or they're considered
what it was once like in the
totalitarian.
United States
You live in a
when
fascist
men
country, my
and women
friend.
were free.
If you want more freedoms,
Under
you need to
President
fight
Trump, freedom
these
will never be a
motherfuckers
thing of
right
the past.
here.
That's what a vote for Donald Trump represents. It's a vote for the American spirit.
No, police
the
just
American
protect
dream,
property.
And for the American
They're
flag.
there to protect the property of rich people.
the
That
law
is
enforcement
all the
officer
cops do. They terrorize poor
attacked,
people. They
betrayed,
trample on the
and
rights
whose
of fucking
job
poor
They are
people.
trying to make extinct.
Learn what you were talking
My
about.
Father will fight for you. To all houses of worship and to all people of faith, stripped of our religious freedoms and religious
I just
liberties,
told you cops are
my
useless.
Father will fight for you.
I don't know why people
To the
don't
voiceless,
remember that.
shamed,
Remember when you have
censored,
an
and
interaction
canceled,
with law enforcement
my
next
Father will
time,
fight for you.
you will
To our
find that I'm
farmers
right.
who work dawn to dusk
If you
to
ever
keep
do.
our
I hope you
plates
don't, my
full,
friend. I hope
my
you don't.
Father will fight for
They're
you.
shitty.
To every
Like if you
single
ever do,
mother
like
and father,
if
to our
you get into
veterans,
some trouble and you have
our
to call the
coal
cops, you're gonna
miners,
find
and
out
to
they're
the
goddamn
American
useless.
Worker, my Father will fight for you.
If anything, they
Every
might
proud
actually make
American
your
who bleeds
situation
red,
worse.
White and blue, my Father will continue to fight for you.
Did he just say red, white, and blue? My
closing,
father
I'd like
will
to speak
continue to
directly
fight
my
for
father.
you.
I miss working alongside you every single day, but I'm damn proud to be on the front lines of this fight. I'm proud of what you're doing for this country. I'm proud to show my children
It's
what
not
their
my
grandfathers
experience.
fighting for.
Remember,
I'm
I
proud
told
to
you
watch
that
you give
I
them
have covered
hell.
the police
Never stop.
for 20
Continue to be
years. I've been in the
unapologetic.
media business for 20 years.
Fighting for what is right. You are making
It says
America
right-wingers are
strong again.
morons.
You are making America
You can
safe
get the
again.
shirt
You are
at the
making
link down
America
below.
proud again.
Because
And yes,
right-wingers are
together with the
morons, and it
forgotten
really
man and
triggers
woman
Trump
who are
supporters.
finally forgotten no more, you are making America great again.
It's a really cool design,
Dad,
too. It's got like a derpy snake
Let's make Uncle Robert
with a
very
dunce
proud this
hat.
week. Let's go get another 4 years. I love you very much.
I am not
God
encouraging
bless you,
anybody to vote
and
for
God
Joe
bless
Biden. I
the
personally am
United
not voting
States
for Joe
of
Biden,
America.
but you should not vote for Donald Trump. You should absolutely vote for Joe. If you live in a red state, you should vote for Joe. If you live in a blue state, you should vote for Green Party. Howie Edwards, Howie Mandel. I don't even fucking remember. You live up north. Vote for vote DSA.
He was able to refund Americans without indemnity.
I encourage everybody to vote third party. Now, if you're compelled to vote for Joe Biden, I understand. And I'm not going to fault you for that. But if you live in a safe state especially, please vote third party. If you're planning on voting for Trump, don't fucking do it. He's a moron and he's a pedophile. Vote third party. Vote for Joe.
It's a feeling that I can't describe.
There you go, my friend. I encourage you to, all your Trump-loving friends, get them to vote for Joe. All your Biden friends, get them to vote for Joe. I'm totally down with that. But especially, but don't try to, because the liberals, man, they've got this. Don't try to break their whole Biden thing, man. Just go ahead and be like, okay, I don't fault you. I understand your point. But Trump friends, get them to vote for Joe. Doing the Lord's work.
You know, in Biden's America, there aren't opportunity zones. Here you have an administration.
I don't agree with Joe on fucking anything, but hell, if she was to win, I would love it.
Work together.
As we fight to deliver a better future for
That was kind of my because man, I hated Hillary.
1 century ago.
And in the following November,
You go eat, brother. You have a good meal. Say a prayer over it. Oh, I will. Have a great night. Okay, you totally ask me whatever you want to ask.
4.3 million jobs, a record.
Pretty much every drug known to man. I've never had heroin. I've never came across it. I probably wouldn't shoot anything. I'm not a needle guy.
70% of the new jobs.
Oh, I was just playing. I'm not a religious guy either.
We have
but like if I feel like some smokable heroin or something, no, fuck yeah, I'll try it.
That we have hope that
Oh yeah, man, I love some LSD. I saw 9 Inch Nails fucking tripping balls on some acid, man. It was wonderful.
Because of the opportunity.
It had mini and orgy, threesome, foursome, on some Molly, on some X. I don't know what candy flipping means. I've had some wild times, brother. I've had some wild times. They don't call me the freak daddy for nothing.
Good evening. My name is Daniel Cameron. I'm 34 years old.
Oh, I hate this motherfucker. Oh, acid and ecstasy together. I've never done it.
It is an
That's
honor
interesting.
to be with you as a proud Republican and supporter of Donald J. Trump.
I do not like Daniel
raised in
Cameron.
Kentucky, just a few miles from Abraham Lincoln's birthplace.
Since this motherfucker is
Our
speaking,
first
I'm going to take the time to
Republican
say
president believed in compassion,
that they should arrest the cops
freedom, equality,
that are
and
responsible
justice.
for the murder of Breonna Taylor.
Sadly, there are some who don't believe in this wisdom.
I'll
or
keep
in
that
the
in
better
mind, man.
angels
I'm kind of
our
like I'm
shared
getting
American
older.
history
I don't really do
as
anything
they
like
tear
that
down the
anymore.
statues of people
You have
like
yourself a good
Ulysses
night. Don't
Grant,
forget to subscribe. Come
Frederick
back.
Douglass,
Call in sometime. Argue
and
with
even
me.
Mr. Lincoln
Tell me I'm
himself.
fucking stupid.
Lincoln
Love you,
said,
brother. Have a
"Any
great
nation
night.
that does not honor its heroes will not
But
long
fuck this
endure."
guy. They had the
And for
grandmother
Republicans,
arrested on his lawn
our
the other
heroes
day.
are those who propelled an imperfect nation ever forward, always striving to make life better for everyone. Even as anarchists mindlessly tear up American cities while attacking police and
Oh,
innocent
this
bystanders,
motherfucker.
we Republicans do
Remember, he's the
recognize
Attorney General
those who work in good
in the state
faith
that Louisville's
towards
in.
peace, justice, and equality. In fact, it was General Dwight Eisenhower, a future Republican president,
Kentucky Kingdom,
who said democracy is a system that recognizes the equality of
So
humans
just the other
before
day,
the law.
on his
Whether
law,
you are
the
the
guy that's
family of
speaking right
Breonna
now,
Taylor or
Attorney
David
General
Dorn,
Cameron, on his
these are the
yard,
ideals
this
that
grandmother
will
was
heal our
protesting
nation's
for the
wounds.
arrest of the cops that killed
Republicans
Breonna
will
Taylor.
never turn a blind eye to unjust
They had this
acts.
grandmother
Neither
arrested
will
and
we
taken to
accept
jail.
an all-out assault on Western civilization. My values
What a piece
were
of
shaped
shit.
by my faith and by my parents. I worked at their small coffee shop.
That's that piece
meeting
of shit
people
right
from all
there.
walks of life.
Fuck that piece of shit.
And I realized
For
something.
you guys, it's that. It's
No
over
matter
here.
who we are,
It's over here.
everyone
Fuck that piece
needs a
of
cup
shit.
of coffee.
Fuck that piece of shit
That
right
lesson
there.
stuck with
This
me because
guy, fuck
despite
it.
our differences, we all want the same
For me, he's
things.
over here. Fuck
For
him.
our children to have more opportunities than we did. to feel the dignity of work, and to believe that if you play by the rules, you can make a
God,
good
I hate
life
them so
for
much.
yourself and your
They're really
family.
tapping into that culture
So the
war
question is,
nerve.
will we choose the path that gives us the best chance to meet those universal desires? Or will we go backward to a time when people were treated like political commodities who can't be trusted to think for themselves? I think often
That's that
about my
democratic
ancestors
plantation
who struggled
notion,
for
isn't it?
freedom. And as I think of those giants and their broad shoulders, I also think about Joe Biden, who says, if you aren't voting for me, you ain't black. Who argued that
See, like,
Republicans
fuck Joe
would put us back
Biden.
in
Like, why did
chains.
they gave
He says
these
there is no
motherfuckers so
diversity
much
of thought
ammunition?
in the black
I
community.
can't defend him. He
Mr.
did. He
Vice
actually
President,
said
look
that.
at me. I am black.
Like, they make up a
We
lot
are
of
not
shit
all the
about him.
same,
It's like
sir.
that was
I am
true.
not in chains. My mind is my own, and you can't tell me how to vote because of the color of my skin. Joe Biden is a backwards thinker in a world that is craving forward-looking leadership. There's no wisdom in his record or plan, just a trail of discredited ideas and offensive statements. Joe Biden would destroy jobs, raise our taxes, and throw away the lives of countless unborn children. And he is
They
captive
really
to the
drive that
radical left,
abortion
a
thing
movement
home, don't they?
committed to cancel culture and the destruction of public discourse. They believe your skin color must dictate your politics. And if you fail to conform while exercising your God-given right to speak and think freely, they will cut you down. The politics of identity, cancellation, and mob rule
This
are not
motherfucker wants
acceptable
to be
me.
the governor of
Republicans trust you to
Kentucky.
think for yourself.
Bashir
pursue
is
your
up for
American
re-election
dream,
in
however you see
2021,
fit.
I believe.
Mr. Lincoln
So
said
yeah,
the
next
dogmas
year
of
he's
the
totally
quiet
making a run
past
for
are
it.
inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise to the occasion. I believe Donald Trump can meet Lincoln's mandate, even as Joe Biden remains trapped by his own failed record and by the radicals who dominate his party. Let's be honest.
The radicals.
No one is excited
Chris
about Joe
Benoit
Biden. And so I asked
Perry
you to judge the
Saturn,
record. On criminal
Eddie
justice
Guerrero.
reform, Joe Biden couldn't do it. But President Trump did. On the economy,
fourth man? Dean
Joe
Malenko.
Biden couldn't do it. But President Trump did build an economy that worked for everyone, especially minorities.
I saw like one of
and
those
he
Q
will do
the
it
going off
again.
on some
And on
oh, the
immigration,
new world order, blah
Joe
blah blah
Biden
blah.
promises more
And
to
somebody
illegal
had
immigrants than he does to you.
posted a GIF
But
of
President Trump believes
Hogan,
his
Hall, and
highest
Nash,
need
and I'm like, oh
is to the
yeah,
American worker. The choice is clear.
my kind of people.
Let me close with something my mom told me. This country's many faces comprise a family, not separate parts to be divided against each other. And like any family, we care for one another. We grieve together. We share our burdens and our struggles, and we celebrate our successes. And though we fuss and fight, we are not enemies. We are Americans, united by a collective faith in our Constitution and laws and the fundamental fairness they represent. We are defenders of
Yeah,
life
fuck
and
this
of
guy
individual
so
liberty.
much.
And we carry the mantle of Eisenhower and of Reagan to be a force for good in this world, and one that must always be reckoned with. That's my Republican Party, the party of Lincoln. That
They're like the
believes America is
WWE,
an
always looking back
indispensable
to the
nation,
past.
an evergreen tree,
Oh, we had Hogan,
standing
Stone
tall
Cold.
in a
You ain't got
turbulent
no
world.
stars no more.
And that's why
you
I
ain't got
am
no
voting for Donald
ideas.
Trump
You ain't got no
for president.
principles.
Thank you, and God bless. And God bless.
And God bless. The tape skipped. He Milli Vanilli'd it.
Hi, I'm Mike Pompeo. I'm speaking
Fuck
to you
Mike
from
Pompeo.
beautiful
He's out of
Jerusalem,
focus.
Looking out over the old city. I have a big job.
He's in
As Susan's
Israel?
husband and Nick's dad. Susan and Nick are more safe, and their freedom's more secure, because President Trump has put his America First vision into action. It may not have made him popular in every foreign capital, but it's worked. President Trump understands what my
Why are
great
these
fellow
Christian
candidate, President Eisenhower,
motherfuckers
said.
so
For all that we
obsessed
cherish
with
and justly desire
Israel?
for ourselves or for our children.
I mean, I know.
The securing of peace is the first requisite. Indeed, the primary
See,
constitutional
you cannot
function
let
of the
Republicans
national
retain
government
power.
is
This
ensuring that your
motherfucker
and
thinks
minds
he's standing in the place
enjoy
that's
the
going to
freedom to
trigger
live,
the end times.
work,
Just like
to learn,
momentarily,
to worship
he thinks
as they
he's
choose.
doing the thing that's going to
Delivering on this duty
trigger
to keep us safe.
Jeebus coming
Our
back.
freedoms intact.
That's why these
This
motherfuckers
president
need
has
to
led
lose
bold
power.
initiatives in nearly
God,
every
the
corner
more I
of the
think
world.
about it, the more I think I might vote for
China
Biden. God
has
damn
pulled back
it.
the curtain on the predatory
I'm talking
aggression
myself
of the
into
Chinese
it.
Communist Party. The
No,
president has held China
I'm
accountable
not
for
voting
covering
for
up the
Biden.
China virus and allowing
But
it to
this
spread death
motherfucker doesn't
and
need
economic
power.
destruction in
And
America
anybody
and
that's
around
out
the world.
there that's even remotely
He will not
thinking
rest
about
until
voting for
justice
Trump,
is done.
vote third party,
He has
vote
ensured
libertarian.
that the Chinese
You
Communist
live
Party
in California,
spies
vote
posing
for
as
vote for
diplomats in America are jailed.
I
or
think
sent
it's
back to
Howie.
China.
I don't even. God,
He has ended
it's
the
Howie
ridiculously unfair
Hawkins.
trade arrangement
I believe that's
with
who it
China
is.
that punched a hole in our economy. Those jobs
Look,
are
see
coming
whatever
back
the
home.
strongest, most viable third
North
party
Korea.
in your state
President
is,
lowered
and
the
vote for
temperature,
them,
and
because
against
these
all odds got the
motherfuckers don't
North
need to
Korean
have
leadership
power.
to the table. No nuclear tests, no long-range missile tests, and Americans held captive in North Korea came home to their families, as did the precious remains
I'm
of
more
scores
worried
of
about
heroes
Israel.
who fought in Korea.
They got the nukes too.
Today, because of President Trump, NATO is stronger, Ukraine has defensive weapon systems, and America left a
I
harmful
think my
treaty so
upstairs
our
neighbor
nation
just
can now
threw
build
something. They
missiles
didn't like
to
me
deter
yelling
Russian
about
aggression.
Israel. It
And
is a
in the Middle
topic that
East,
gets people
when
upset.
Iran threatened, the president approved a strike that killed the Iranian terrorist Qasem Soleimani. This is the man most responsible for the murder and maiming of hundreds of
There were
American
like
soldiers
children in the
and
background.
thousands of Christians across the Middle East. And you'll recall too that when the president took office, radical Islamic terrorists had beheaded Americans, and ISIS controlled a territory in the size of Great Britain. Today, because of the president's determination and leadership, the ISIS caliphate is wiped out. It's gone. Its evil leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, is dead. And our brave soldiers, they're on their way home. The president exited the U.S. from the disastrous nuclear deal with Iran and squeezed the Ayatollah, Hezbollah, and Hamas. The president,
Squeeze
too,
them?
moved the U.S. embassy to this very
And you went
city
over
of
and gave
God,
him big
Jerusalem,
hugs?
the rightful capital.
I mean,
of
that's
the
what he
Jewish
does with
homeland.
dictators, right?
And just 2 weeks ago, the president brokered a historic peace deal between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. This is a deal that our grandchildren will read about in their history books. You know, as a soldier, I saw firsthand people desperate to flee to freedom. The way each of us can best ensure our freedoms is by electing leaders who don't just talk, but who deliver. An American hostage, imprisoned in Turkey for 2 years, Pastor Andrew Brunson, said upon his release that he survived his ordeal with these words of Scripture: "Be faithful, endure, and finish well. If we stay the course, we will." May God richly bless you, and may God bless our great nation, the United States of America.
Oh, we're in the newly remodeled Rose Garden. Who is this? This is our main event. Motherfucking Mike Pence. The most repressed homosexual man I've ever seen in my life. I hope that man at least takes one dick in his booty hole before he dies. Is this Trump? God, this is weird. Oh, so we are getting a Trump speech here. All right. I'm gonna lay out for it.
It is my great honor to present.
Oh, it's Melania.
Melania Trump.
First Lady
Okay.
Melania Trump. First Lady Melania Trump officially kicking off her Be Best initiative.
She is courageous. She's taking on a tough topic.
Focused on the well-being of children, social media use, and opioid abuse.
Let's join together in a committing to help children dream big, think big, and do all they can to be best in everything they do.
This is her showcasing what she brings to the position of First Lady.
She is smart, independent, and I think people have underestimated her big time.
The First Lady was amazing. She was gracious, empathetic, and showed true compassion.
First Lady Melania Trump stepping out onto the world stage.
Her Be-Based campaign is now going international.
She has the advantage of speaking several languages. She can be a diplomat for our country.
The sun was shining. She was greeted by children. This, of course, is her continuing to work on her.
I've heard that she doesn't really
campaign
speak any language that well.
Successful programs that teach children.
She just knows a few words and pretty much
represents our country with enormous warmth and elegance.
5 different languages she supposedly
Throughout
speaks.
history, women have made lasting impacts on society, and these women represent the strength of the female spirit. As First Lady of the United States, I'm proud of what this country continues to do for women. We as women must continue using our great tool of empowerment, our voices.
It was a very important moment for Melania Trump. This was a really prominent week for her.
The iconic White House Rose Garden has been renovated for the first time in 60 years.
When the history books are written, there should be a special chapter reserved for our First Lady.
She is an incredible First Lady. An amazing mother.
Wow.
An incredible woman. First Lady Melania Trump.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the First Lady of the United States, Mrs. Melania Trump.
They're giving her a whole 20 minutes. This is a lot of pressure too after she ripped off those speeches. And they made so much fun of her. I mean, what's she gonna do here? I'm interested. My interest is piqued. Looking at his eye, I was like, yeah, I've tapped that. Yeah, once or twice, I guess.
It seems like just yesterday that we were at our first convention, where my husband accepted the Republican nomination and then became our 43rd president
What's with that outfit?
of the United States. Yet the energy and enthusiasm for who should lead this nation, it is real today as it was 4 years ago.
It's kind of militant, don't you think?
I know I speak for my husband and the entire family when I say we have not forgotten the incredible people who were willing to take a chance on the businessmen who had never worked in politics. We know it was you who elected him to be Commander-in-Chief, and we know it is you who will carry us through again. We were humbled by the incredible support then, and we are still grateful today. I want to acknowledge the fact that since March, our lives have changed drastically. The invisible enemy, COVID-19, swept across our beautiful country and impacted all of us. My deepest sympathy goes out to everyone who has lost a loved one, and my prayers are with those who are
She's like
ill
staring
or
me
suffering.
down right now. I don't like it.
I know
Make it stop.
many people
Oh.
are anxious, and some feel helpless. I want you to know you're not alone. My husband's administration will not stop fighting until there is an effective treatment or vaccine available to everyone.
You're not going to
Donald
stop
will
the
not rest
infighting.
until he has done all he can to take care of everyone impacted by this terrible pandemic. I want to extend my gratitude to all of the healthcare professionals, frontline workers and teachers who stepped up in these difficult times. Despite the risk to yourselves and your own families, you put our country first, and my husband and I are grateful. I have been moved by the way Americans have come together in such an unfamiliar and often frightening situation. It is in times like this that we will look back and tell our grandchildren that through kindness and compassion, strength and determination, we were able to restore the promise of our future. Businesses stepped up and volunteers stepped in. People were eager to share ideas, resources, and support of all kinds with neighbors and strangers alike. It has been inspiring to see what the people of our great nation will do for one another, especially when we are at our most fragile. Speaking of strength and determination, we recently celebrated the 100-year anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment. Yesterday, on the North Lawn of the White House, we unveiled an exhibit dedicated to women's suffrage. The exhibit called on children from across the country to send art honoring the meaning of this important time in women's history. When I was judging the entries, I reflected on the impact of women's voices in our nation's story, and how proud I will be to cast my vote again for Donald this November. We must make sure that women are heard and that the American dream continues to thrive. Growing up as a young child in Slovenia, which was under communist rule at the time, I always heard about an
obviously
amazing place
inspired
called
your fashion
America,
as well.
a land that stood for freedom and opportunity. As I grew older, it became my goal to move to the United States and follow my dream of working in the fashion
I ain't saying
industry.
she a gold digger.
My parents worked very hard to ensure our family could not only live and prosper in America, but also contribute to a nation that allows for people to arrive with a dream and make it reality. I want to take the moment to thank my mother and father for all they have done for our family.
She is not
It is
going
because
to
of you
speak
that
for
I'm
another
standing
13
here
minutes.
today.
So if she's not the main chorus, who is?
I arrived in the United States when I was 26 years old. Living and working in the land of opportunity was a dream come true, but I wanted more. I wanted to be a citizen. After 10 years of paperwork and patience, I studied for the test in 2006 and became an American citizen.
So many flags.
It is still one of the proudest moments in my life because with hard work and determination, I was able to achieve my own American dream. As an immigrant and a very independent woman, I understand what a privilege it is to live here and to enjoy the freedoms and opportunities that we have. As First Lady, I have been fortunate to see the American dream come true over and over again. I have met many inspiring women, children, parents, and families who have overcome life-changing issues that include addiction, homelessness, family members who are ill or have passed away, abuse
I like
of
the way
all
she said
kinds, and many other challenges
ill.
that would make most people give up.
That's cute.
The past 3.5 years have been unforgettable. There are no words to describe how honored, humbled, and fortunate I am to serve our nation as your First Lady. After many of the experiences I've had, I don't know if I can fully explain how many people I take home with me in my heart each day. From brave soldiers who give up so much so that we can be free, to children of all circumstances who I have met around the world. Thank you for inspiring me. It is my greatest honor to serve you. When I speak to members of the military, despite sacrificing time with their families, experience the fear of war or suffering loss, they have no regrets about serving our country. The same goes for their families and the families of first responders who often watch their loved ones walk out the door, not sure if or when they will come home. When I speak to families who have lost someone, the pain mixed with pride I hear in their voices is something I think about often. So thank you to all who serve our country in the military and as first responders.
God bless
and thank you to the families who wait for them. You are our heroes in your own right. I have also been moved by the many children and families I've spent time with at hospitals, schools, and other locations around the world.
So
Children
Pam
who are
Bondi is
dealing
definitely
with
the
pain or
weirdest
illness
speech of the
that
night.
would break even the strongest adult. Parents who are grateful
God
to wake up
damn.
every day and see that their child is still alive. These families are a testament to what faith and medicine, strength and science can do. On my first international trip as First Lady, my husband and I visited places of great significance.
Nick Salmon gets the
three
most
major
pretentious spot.
religions, Islam,
God damn, I might have to go back and
Christianity,
think about
and
that.
Judaism. One special memory from that trip is of
This
a
is the
young
Republican
boy I
convention,
had
after
privilege
all.
of visiting while at Bambino Gesù Hospital in Rome, Italy. While there, I read the little boy a story and learned that he and his family had been waiting for a heart for a very long time, and he had a grim
I've been waiting for
prognosis.
dinner for a very long
His
time.
situation brought my staff and me to tears.
So close after
and we
you're
spoke
finished.
of a little else as we flew to Belgium for the next part of our trip. Upon landing just a few hours later, we learned that a heart had been donated and would be going to the little one. I think about him often, along with so many amazing and strong young patients
I thought you didn't
across
really care.
our own country. More profound and sadly unavoidable examples of our country's strength
That was
and
also a
character
green outfit.
have
She is a
appeared in the
communist.
communities that have been impacted by natural disasters. Hurricanes, tornadoes, and flooding may show the ugly side of Mother Nature, but in their aftermath, they can show us a beautiful side of humanity. My husband and I have visited many places that have been affected by natural disaster.
He threw some paper
And we are
towels at
deeply
some Puerto
moved
Ricans.
by the strength of the people who have lost everything and the kindness of neighbors and communities. The common thread in all of these challenging situations is the unwavering resolve to help one another. I recognize the stories I just told about people who survive extraordinary circumstances.
I don't know. She can stay.
But Donald
she
and
ain't
I
bad.
are also inspired
I think she
by
might
the
even be
millions
covert working
of
against
Americans
Donald.
who wake up each day with a simple
I'm
yet
still trying to
courageous
figure out what kind
goal
of signal
of
she's sending
providing
with
for their
this
families and keeping
clearly
them safe.
militant communism
You are the
outfit.
backbone of this country. You are the people who continue to make the United States of
She
America
talked about
what it
growing
is,
up in Slovenia.
and who have the incredible responsibility of preparing our future generations to live
She clearly had a
everything even
Slovenian
better
tailor
than they found it.
from the old country.
Just
Make
as you
that
are fighting
outfit
for your
her.
families, my husband, our family, and the people in this administration are here fighting for you. No matter the amount of negative or false media headlines or attacks from the other side, Donald Trump has not and will not lose focus on you. He
She's
loves
really
this
boring
country,
me.
and he knows how to
I
get
expected
things done.
better from her. I was actually
As you have
excited for her
learned
speech.
over the past 5 years, he's not a traditional politician. He doesn't just speak words. He demands action, and he gets results.
She's clearly not that good if she's
future
not
of
ripping
our
somebody
country
off.
Has always been very important to him.
I think the reason is
always
called
admired.
nepotism,
In
if I'm not
fact,
mistaken.
It is to help ensure a better future.
Half
for
of the
our next
speakers that they
generation
announced
that I
were
launched the
Trumps.
best.
I
My
didn't know they've had more
initiative
speakers
to
than
help
just like half
children
to be
achieve
Trumps. They're
their
like,
fullest
fucking
potential.
Tiffany was on here tonight.
Be Best has one simple goal: teaching youth about the importance of their well-being, both mentally and physically. This also includes
I really was expecting
understanding
better.
online
This has
safety
been
and
really
the
boring.
dangers of opioid and drug abuse. Through Be Best,
Not that
my
she's really
office
been
and
bad
I
at
have been
delivering
able
it.
to highlight people, programs, and organizations that are doing
But I
extraordinary
just
things in our country and around the world. I continue to believe that by shining a light on these positive examples,
But now
others across the country
the
and
messaging
globe
tonight has
will
been all
become
over the place
inspired
because
to do their part for
I can't
our
even
next
remember what she
generation.
said the theme
Helping
was when
children is not a political goal. It is our moral imperative. When I think back
they went hard
to a
on the
defining
economy
moment
early
of
with
Be
Larry
Best,
Kudlow and shit.
my mind goes to a trip I took
They
to
really
Africa.
hammered that home.
On that vast and beautiful continent,
But
I
it
was
went
able to
all
visit
over the
countries
place.
of Ghana,
And the Pam Bondi
Malawi,
with the Joe
Kenya,
Biden,
and
that
Egypt.
was super
One
fucking
of those
weird.
visits, in particular, had a profound
Tiffany probably
impact
had the
on
best
me.
speech of the night, to be honest with you.
Ghana, on the coast of West Africa, was the first stop on my trip, and I experienced
And that was the most
firsthand
convincing and
its
the
warm
most
people
normal
and their traditions.
convention-like speech.
While there,
Tiffany
I
knocked it
visited
out of
the
the
Cape
park.
Coast Castle and learned more about the beginning of a cruel and often deadly journey in the era of the slave trade. I was horrified when I listened to the guide tell me so many inhumane stories, and I gained new perspectives. It is time in our history we must never forget, so that we can ensure that it never happens again.
They all say that, but
Like
it's
all
like
of you,
we always
I have
forget and it
reflected
always happens
on the
again.
racial unrest in our country. It is a harsh reality that we are not proud of parts of our history. I encourage people to focus on our future while still learning from our past. We must remember that today we are all one community.
That's the most
comprised
acknowledgement of
many
criticism
races,
of the country.
religions, and ethnicities. Our diverse and storied history is what makes
Every
our
other
country
Republican
strong.
that spoke
And yet, we
has been
still
like,
have
America's
so much
great,
to
great,
learn
great, great,
from
great.
one another. With that in mind, I like to call on the citizens of this country to take a moment,
What you want me to do?
pause, and look at things from all perspectives. I urge people to come together in a civil manner so we can work and live up to our standard American ideals.
I think to do that, we got to get rid
I
of Trump.
also ask people to stop the violence and looting being done in the name of justice.
Biden's
and
probably
never
not
make
going to fix that,
assumptions
that's for
based
sure.
on the color of a person's skin.
Keep looting, keep rioting,
Instead
burn
of
down
tearing
more police
things down,
stations and
tearing
justice
things down,
centers.
let's reflect on our
Good for
mistakes.
democracy.
Be proud of our evolution and look to our way forward.
Let's hope Biden gets elected.
Every day, let us remember
Let's keep rioting
that we are
and
one
looting
nation
and burning
under
down
God,
justice centers.
and we need to cherish one another.
Well after January.
My husband's administration has worked to try and effect change when it comes to issues around race
yes, she
and
is
religion
very
in
much
this
talking for
country.
way too long.
He's the first president to address a special
we're coming up on the top of the hour,
session of the United
so she'll be wrapping it
Nations
up
General
soon.
Assembly to call upon countries across the world to end religious persecution and honor the
I'm
right
surprised he didn't
of
give it a
every
good 2 or 3
person
minutes of
to
some
worship
fireworks.
as they choose. He has made substantial investments
No, man.
in our
Every
historically black
good thing in this
colleges
country
and
came from
universities.
rioting and fucking looting.
This
violent
president
protests.
also continues
Everybody,
to fight
all
for
your
school
labor
choice,
rights, the fucking
giving
founding of the
parents more
country
options
itself,
to help
every
their
fucking
children
thing,
flourish.
civil rights, every fucking thing, the
husband
right to
knows
fucking
how to
vote
make a real
for
change.
every different
From the
section
day
of
that I met him,
society
he has
that's had to
only
fight
wanted
for it.
to make this country the best
Everything.
it can be. For
Mass
many
protest
years, I
works.
watched him grow concerned and
And that's how you
frustrated.
get cops arrested.
And I'm so proud to see the many things he has done in such a short time. America is in his heart. So while at times we only see the worst of people and politics on the evening news, let's remember how we come together in the most difficult times. And while debate rage on about
I mean, I'm sure
issues
I'm
of
on a
race,
list somewhere,
let's
man. I don't want to
focus
take you
on the
with me, that's for
strides
sure.
we have made and work together for a better tomorrow
I
for everyone.
apologize.
Our administration has also devoted historic resources and produced life-saving results by raising awareness
But seriously,
around
read
opioid
about the
addiction
history of this
and
country.
drug abuse,
I would
especially
highly
with
recommend
children.
Howard Zinn's A People's
When so
History of the
often
United
the
States.
headlines are filled with gossip, I want to take this moment to encourage the media to focus even more on the nation's drug crisis. This disease is one that affects everybody. It pays
Prescription
no
drug
attention to
crisis,
race,
specifically.
age, or socioeconomic status. Addiction has touched every part of our society in some way. And now, more than ever, we have programs and medicine to combat it. We just need to talk about it openly. And you, the media, have the platforms to make that happen.
I hope it's you do
To
not
the media
encourage those
industry
acts.
and as a country, I ask that we all commit
Well,
to helping
everybody
in
needs
our
to do their
fights
part in the
against drug
revolution, my
addiction by
friend.
talking
There has
about
to
it
be
even
me antagonizing
Especially
and mocking
as we
fucking
battle
dumb
the
fucks.
COVID
There has to be the
pandemic.
moms and the
We need to
grandmas
remember
that do
that
the fucking peaceful
suicides
protests.
are on the rise
There has to be
as
the reasonable people.
who are
Like there has to be
struggling
me
with
talking about
loneliness
abolishing
and
the police in order for the
feel
people
they
that
have nowhere
are
to
pushing to
turn.
defund the police to get through.
Parents,
Because
please
like
talk
the
to
alternative
children,
is far more radical.
teachers,
So you
and
just
caregivers
pushing the
pay
Overton window
attention
back.
to signs of addiction. Lawmakers pass legislation that allows those who ask for help to do so safely.
I think
and
Melania's
without
heart's
fear,
in the right place.
And to provide
She's a smart
resources
woman.
for organizations that help people impacted by addiction. When the stigma is removed, people will no longer be ashamed to ask for help.
It's a very
and
noble
lives
cause
will
to
be
get
saved.
behind.
And if you're struggling with addiction, there is no shame in your illness. Please seek help.
And that's a
You're
very
worth it.
progressive thing for a Republican to say, so
In
I
my
appreciate
next
her.
4 years
She
as
said
First
some
Lady, I
like
will continue to build upon the
odd
best
things
and
for a
work with
Republican to come out and
individual
say.
states
So I
to pass
appreciate her doing
legislation
that.
to take care of our most vulnerable. I plan to continue the work I have started with children in foster care, as well as the minority communities and tribal nations. I want to ensure children are being protected and communities have the resources needed to combat drug addiction and child neglect or abuse. Like my husband and the administration, I will continue to encourage education that supports a child's individual needs. It is vital that children are given the building blocks to succeed. I also look forward to continue my work to restore the People's House.
I didn't think
which
she'd
is
go a whole
lasting
fucking
symbol
15,
of
16
pride
minutes,
for
but
our
shit,
nation.
she's going over.
I believe this iconic home needs to be cared for and preserved so it can be enjoyed by the people of this country and visitors from around the world.
And so this
for years
means
to come.
that they really considered
I'm
her to
passionate
be
about
a
this
main
beautiful
event
house,
act.
the grounds,
Like
and
people are
all
going
they
to eat this
represent.
up, at least their base.
And now I have a special message.
I did
for
see
the
pieces
mothers
about
of
her
this
being like
country.
the new Jackie O and
This
shit
modern
today.
world is moving so fast, and our children face challenges that seem to change every few months. Just like me, I know many of you watch
I don't
on
think
me
people are
and
just like you.
manipulative
No,
social
there's
media
nobody out
can
here
be.
that you're talking to.
And just like me,
It's just like you.
I'm sure many of you are looking for answers how to talk to your children about the downside of
Did
technology
she say TikTok?
and their relationships with their peers. Like every parent in this country, I feel there are so many lessons to teach our son and responsibilities as his mother, but there are just not enough hours in the day to do it all. I remind myself that I'm more fortunate than most.
Can we abolish
and
daylight
still have
savings
days
time?
that I look for wisdom
Now
and
that you mentioned
strength
hours in the
to do the
day?
very best I can for him.
I think that's something we can all agree on.
To mothers and parents everywhere, you are warriors. In my husband, you have a president who will not stop fighting for you and your families. I see how hard he works each day and night, and despite the unprecedented attacks from the media and opposition, he will not give up. In fact, if you tell him he cannot be done, he just works harder. Donald?
Oh, she's proud of herself.
Donald is a husband who supports me in all that I do. He has built an administration with an unprecedented number of women in leadership roles.
Of course, she's got to
and has
end her
fostered
speech
an
talking about
environment
him, stroking
where
that
the
ego,
American
stroking that
people are
ego.
always the priority.
But ultimately, her message was
He
pretty good.
welcomes different points of view and encourages thinking outside of the box.
I mean, I'm not saying it was substantively
I know I speak
good.
for my husband and the family
It
when I say we
accomplished
are
what
so
they would
grateful
want to
that you have
accomplish,
trusted
as
him
in
to be
the
your
Republican
president.
Party.
And we will be honored to serve this incredible country for 4 more years.
It made morons go, "Oh, she's Jackie, oh!" And that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted.
As you have heard this evening, I don't want to use this precious time attacking the other side. Because as we saw last week, that kind of
You had
talk
Pam Bondi
only
do it for you
serves to
earlier in the
divide
night.
the country further.
I just
I'm
like
here
saying her
because
name,
we need
Pam
my
Bondi.
husband to be our president and commander-in-chief for 4 more years. He is what
Let's hope
is
not.
best for our country. We all know Donald Trump makes no secrets about how he feels about things. Total honesty is what we as citizens deserve
that's true.
from our president. Whether you like it or not, you always know what he's thinking. And that is because he's an authentic person who loves this country and its people and wants to continue to make it better. Donald wants to keep your family safe. He wants to help your family succeed. He wants nothing more than for this country to prosper, and he doesn't waste time playing politics. Almost 4 years ago, we went into Election Day completely underestimated. Despite what is being said again this year, I know, just as you do, that Americans will go to the polls and vote on the behalf of their families, our economy, our national security,
It ain't looking good for
and
'em.
our children's future. To vote for those ideals is not a partisan vote. It is a
So he's
common
up 8
sense
points
vote.
nationally.
Because those
Joe
are
Biden's
goals
up in
and hopes
Arizona.
that we all believe in.
Joe Biden's up 4
I believe
points in
that we need my
Florida.
husband's leadership now more than ever.
Joe Biden's up
in order
6
to bring
points
us
in
back
Michigan.
once again to the greatest economy and the strongest country ever known.
North Carolina's kind of surprising.
God bless you all, your families.
Biden's up 3
and
points
God
in
bless
Ohio.
the United States of
It is
America.
not looking good for Trump. So there you have it. Night 2 of the Republican National Convention. Disgusting. Did she get makeup all over her? I'm in awe. Election night 2016. I laughed incredibly hard at the fact that Hillary Clinton lost. The hubris that her and her supporters, that they exuded, Like, I got some schadenfreude from the actual event. But, like, once the reality set in of, like, oh, shit, Donald Trump's our fucking president. God, he's so stupid. Because make no mistake about it, like, Hillary would have been a better president than Donald Trump. Fuck, I wouldn't vote for her. Still wouldn't vote for her to this day. Not going to vote for Joe Biden. Fuck both of them. Both of them are going to be a better president than Donald Trump. Both of them would be theoretically better presidents than Donald Trump. Biden will be a better president than Donald Trump. Like, this guy is just a fucking... He's just an imbecile. Just a complete and total imbecile. That's all. That's all you can say about him. You don't get any fireworks or anything? That's it. All right. Well, that'll wrap it up for our coverage for night 2. We'll be back again tomorrow night. We'll hit the air sometime between 8:30 and 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Oh. You know how we do it on this show. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We'll see you tomorrow on the Troll Patrol.